And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time. Is that a chorus pedal in your pocket, or you're just happy to see me pedal show? My name is Gabor.
Oh, that's the thing. You said words. Hey, welcome along. I'm Alex. This is the PX65 from PastFx.
Yes. Sent to us by Verlie at PastFx. Hi, Verlie. Big thank you for sending this out to us. A really cool pedal, and we'll have a look at it quite in depth coming up shortly.
Oh, so the setup today, so you know, is the pedal into Mozztronics Amp Switcher, a Cherry Tone OTS Mini 20 head, and a 2-notes Torpedo, Captor X doing the cab sims for the speaker IR.
Yes,
stuff.
And we're going to start off in mono because there's some features that only work in mono, but then we will also go in stereo at the end, so timestamps and all that sort of stuff. Now, if you've been watching our channel for a while now, you will know that I have a thing of some sort for DOD pedals.
You have a small thing.
That's not what she said. This is basically a recreation of this pedal, which is the DOD FX65 Stereo Chorus. Now, this is a pedal that, rumor has it, was used by John Frusciante for the Blood Sugar Sex Magik recordings,
right,
before he got into the CE1 that came later, the CE1. So that's sort of one claim of fame for it. The other claim of fame over recent years is that Mr. Andy Martin from Pro Guitar Shop demos back in the days, one of the OG demo guys, right? The guy who paved the way for idiots like us. Hi. He uses it a lot, but he uses it in a sort of special, certain sort of way. Now we're going to look at all that. There's a switch there too that says Andy and Dave. Dave for Dave Simpson, another YouTuber who's very into John Frusciante. Andy for Andy. A few extra benefits. We'll get into all these benefits. Sure. Should we get into all these benefits now? Should we go look at controls and say what they do? Okay.
Over and done with.
Benefits. Now, if you look at the original one, I'll put it next to it here for a second. Right. It has 3 controls. Now, the 3 top controls are said controls. One is speed, one is delay time, which is quite an unusual thing for a chorus, and which makes it kind of interesting. And lastly, depth. Now, they've added a level control, so you can boost the volume, because some people said that maybe a little quiet if you engage it. And it also added a blend control. Now, you've got the VIBRATO Switch, which basically is a kill dry. So it kills the dry signal, which then, depending on where your settings are, can be turned into vibrato. And you have the Dave and Andy switch. Now, Dave switch is basically the stock settings of what the original one would be. I believe all the controls, the speed and depth and all that stuff, go further than the original one used to be on both settings.
Yep.
On Dave and Andy. So it goes slower and faster, I think, than the original does. And the depth is also deeper in both directions. And delay time also, there's more and less delay time. Now, what the Andy switch does, if you go to Andy, so that's Dave. Dave is just this kind of stock setting, right? If you go to Andy setting, what Andy does, and there are videos for it. Let's just say I'm going to link to one here. There's videos about it. He plugs the pedal into the second output. So on the actual DOD one, instead of using the main output, or what would you consider to be the mono output, he plugs into the stereo output. So there's nothing in that. He just plugs into this. Now, apparently what it does, right, with these old DOD pedals, the stereo image was basically phase inversed signals, right? So you have a phased inverse signal coming out of the stereo output. What that does is it gives you this almost faux through zero thing, right? And Andy was using that by plugging just into the stereo output instead of the main output. Now, the Andy switch, all that does is it flips those 2 outputs around. So instead of having to, unplug stuff, you can just flick the Andy switch, and then you can get to that kind of phase inversed faux stereo, faux through zero thing, right? We'll get in all that later. To all that later on as well. There's also internally, there are 2 Dipswitches where you can switch it between the guitar version, the FX65, and the bass version, which was the FX62.
That's right.
Which we'll look at as well.
And it's got shiny blue knobs.
And it looks cool. I reckon it looks great. Blue with the shiny blue knobs.
Yeah.
It's the colour is close.
Pretty damn close. But it's got this, anodized aluminium.
It looks
knobs,
good.
Which Cool. So yeah, get some tones happening.
Yeah.
Dry signal with the Warmoth parts guitar.
So let's start on Dave,
Yo.
because Dave is the more retro guy, right? He just does things more the way things should be done.
Sure.
Everything at 12 o'clock. Well, actually, it'd start off. So now, the level, I believe, that's all the way counterclockwise and blend all the way clockwise if you want it to be the original settings, right? The way the original was. So let's start with that, and then I'm going to play around with the blend and with all the knobs. Let's just see how we go. Freedom within and freedom without. Now, one of the cool things about the old stereo chorus is that delay time thing. Now, for people that don't know, so basically, flanger, chorus, vibrato, all kind of the same, right? So what happens is you have one big happy family.
That's chorus.
You've got. So basically, what you have with the chorus, right, is you have your original signal. The original signal comes out of the guitar, and then you have a signal that's ever so slightly just very fraction, right, of a second delayed, milliseconds delayed. So it's almost like an echo, right? But now what you're doing is with the chorus is you add modulation. So what the modulation does, it changes the delay time, which gives you that kind of almost a little bit of pitch wobble, right, in there, right? But if you mix that in with the original dry signal, it gives you this chorusing effect. Now what a vibrato is basically the same thing minus the dry signal. So you just have the modulated it's kind of pitch effect kind of almost thing. Now, what a flanger is basically the same thing, but the delay time is super short. So it gives you that comb filtering sound, that kind of like a jet taking off sound. Now, what is sort of special about this is that the delay time, when you go quite slow, you almost go into flanger territory. It's this sort of world between chorus and flanger, which actually sounds, it's quite a pretty sound, and it's different to a flanger and different to a chorus. It's sort of its own kind of thing.
Florus.
It's a florus.
Yeah.
So with this, so for example, if I turn a just play. If I turn a delay time all the way down and a depth all the way up.
I like florus.
Florus. It's a florus. So if I turn the delay time up, it becomes a chorusy, less sort of has less of that flangery kind of vibe.
It's the metallic thing that gives it that flanger effect.
Yeah. So that's unmistakably chorus.
Yep.
Whereas if you go all the way down like I did before, it almost lives in a flanger world. Not quite, but it's like a subtle flanger. Actually, let's try that same setting. So just to hear the difference, let's go from Dave to Andy now. So we're at a really slow delay time, low delay time, fairly slow speed flange, and a depth all the way up. Or not speed flange, but the modulation speed. Now let's have a listen to it on Dave, and then I'm going to switch down to Andy to see if you can hear the difference between that face inverted sound.
Okay.
So for lack of a better word, it kind of goes almost hollow a bit. It has that hollowness.
Think of the same word, exactly.
Actually, we've got a drive pedal down here. You can hear it much better once you engage some drive. So this is a Berry Pedals PHAT. You can watch a video for it here. It's a rat style pedal. Going to start off with a lower gain and then maybe go to a high gain later on. So this is now on the Dave setting. It's this sort of faux through zero thing. It's almost this sort of through zero kind of thing.
With the time down on the Andy setting, it is more flangery.
It is quite flangery, yeah, absolutely. So that's just just to show you that. Okay, so that's the Dave and Andy switch basically. All it does, like I said, it flicks those two outputs around, so you get a more hollow sound or you get the less hollow sound. Now let's check out the vibrato setting. Or actually, before we do that, let's put everything at 12 o'clock. Let's check out the two added knobs, the blend and level knobs. So basically all it does is this. So with the blend control, you can blend in a bit more clean signal if you want.
Yep.
And the volume just gives you extra volume. Now, as soon as you hit the vibrato switch, the blue light comes on. Basically, all the dry signal's gone. So now you only hear the modulated delayed signal. So at that same setting, I'll just go between those two same settings. Again, you can get just vibrato sounds out of it.
All the different flavors.
All the different flavors. I think it sounds really cool. Okay, let's go to a few more extremer sort of settings. Let's turn everything up.
Bit of bit of poke.
Bit of poke. And a blend control, especially when you're using drive, it just adds. You can add more definition and stuff into it, so you can have it just sort of sit in the background a little bit more.
Yeah, cool.
Should we now quickly have a look at the internal Dipswitches and see what they do and if they do anything really at all? Let's put this back. Let's find a sound. So, what kind of sound do you want? More chorusing or more Andy flanging?
I like the chorusy thing.
You like the chorusy thing? So let's stay on Dave. Let's put the delay time somewhere here, the depth somewhere here. Sound all right?
-6. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
on.
Okay. Now let's again.
So this is the guitar and bass versions, wasn't it? Those
Yeah. So there's a
two
guitar
models?
version and bass version of it. There's the FX62, which is a bass version, and the FX65, which is a guitar version.
Yep.
I think one of the main differences was there was a blend control, I think, with the bass chorus, but I'm not 100% sure. But you have two, welcome to the magic of television with that double-sided gaffer tape that sticks pedals down when we do the demos. You've got these two Dipswitches here. Let's just see what they do. So at the moment, they're both set to, you probably can't read it, and it's upside down on top of it all, because I don't think it, yeah, right. So it's upside down, doesn't matter. You've got the two, at the moment, they're both set to FX65. Let's start with one, see what happens, see if it makes a difference. Maybe ever so slightly different sound.
Maybe.
There's some changes. I'm not quite sure what. Okay, well, let's try. Let's go back.
Chord changes.
Let's go to 65 and let's flick the other switch.
Okay.
Now they're both in 62.
Are they? I don't think there's any difference, is there?
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
You have that option. Let's just go back to 65.
Cool.
And put that back there. Okay, should we now, because we've gone through all the knobs and stuff, we've done the faux through zero thing, should we now plug it in stereo and see what it sounds like? That.
We're back in a second.
And we're back, and we're now in glorious, it's a new thing, but it's called stereo. Yes, for your listening pleasure. So it's the two phones now while you're sitting on the toilet listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
So you can hear it in glorious stereo. So we're going basically through this in stereo into that, and some Apollo, DoD Apollo, Amp Sim software stuff, which sounds suchly. Okay, we're on, not that it really matters now, Dave and Andy, because all it does is it flips those two outputs. But everything at 12 o'clock, stock setting with that all the way down and that all the way up. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's go more wobbly.
Wobbly wobbly. It's wobbly.
It's very wobbly, so that's the vibrato thing. Actually, let's try that slow thing.
Yep.
The flangey thing with that now. Let me have a go.
On some delay.
Sure. Let me have a go. So, PartsMaster caster, blaster. Master caster, there's a video for it here with some fantastic Martin A. Smith pickups. Make a guitar neck. Find out more about it. Links always below in the description, and I put it up there before. And clean, unchorused, and unfatted. It sounds like this. But delayed. Okay, well let's do that same sound. Oh. That's a big delay. I really like that low delay time flangey thing. Cool. I think that sounds really cool. I'm with Andy. Go Andy.
Go Andrew.
Go Andrew Martin. Yes.
What do you guys think? Do you dig it? Can you dig it?
Can I just very quickly?
Yo.
I know we should stop talking so much, but I want to see what it sounds like at that flangey sort of setting with the DoomMaster. So there's a DoomMaster. Now his favourite bit of the whole thing starts with a Bagley Guitars aluminium neck, Vander guitar body, descendant vibrato, mastery bridge, Justin Hermes or Herod, custom anodized aluminium guard, Curtis Novak Thunderbird bass picks for guitar, and string switch noise wiring.
Wow, cool.
And without any stuff, it sounds like this. Now I want to try it on that slow setting, depth all the way up, blend all the way up, about there. Can you give me that delay, that big delay again?
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. That setting is cool. That low really slow kind of modulation.
What do you think? Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I can. Well, once again, big thank you to Verlie at PastFx for sending this out to us. I'll put up a playlist to all the PastFx stuff right at the end of this video too.
PastFx.
Yes, even Pastora.
Yeah, it's fun. Probably do a shootout at some point with the original DOD pedals. So
let
stay
us know.
tuned for that. Please like and subscribe. Ding the bell to stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
Comments below.
Yeah.
Do you have one of the old ones? Do you have one of these ones? Oh, you don't have this one.
I think it's now released already. It's just been
new,
released. So
so-
you can purchase it now. Yeah, big thank you for sending us. It was, pre-release. We were sent this by Verlie locally here. PastFx, killer effects. Always should also mention actually the quality is really good. Build quality is always really good. Great components, good sounding pedals, well made. Yeah, so I'm a fan.
Thanks for hanging. Links below to Instagram, Facebook, and a podcast. Check them out.
Well, yeah, every once in a while we do one of those. Not very often.
They're still in the backlog.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging. We'll see you soon.